Hey YouTube, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all having a nice week so far out there. I just got back from the park. I was sitting in the shade a little bit, and then I took a walk and got home and thought this would be a good time to do a video. So today we're going to do raw food diet step by step. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. This I get more than anything else. People want to get started. How do I do it? And they want details. And I'm not the greatest detail person in the world. Listen, as I've said over and over and over on this channel, this is more of an experiential thing for me. I'm not, sitting here breaking down, well, this does this, this does that. So a lot of times I'll throw some advice out to somebody, or I'll say, hey, well, go watch this playlist of mine. And by the way, I've got several playlists. If you're trying to start a raw food diet, I've got 3 playlists. You could watch several videos off of each one of those and pick up a lot off of it. I've got one starting a raw food diet, or a raw food diet for beginners, something like that. Just search it. You'll see them in my playlist. I've got transitioning to a raw food diet. And then I have a ton of what I eat videos. I mean, that's it right there. Picture's worth 1,000 words and a video's worth 10,000 pictures. So I stay in my lane. I'm not trying, like when I show somebody or I share some knowledge, or I say, go watch this, they're like, yeah, but you do this. I don't like this, or I don't want to do this or that. I'm like, well, that's what I do. I'm like, I'm not qualified to step out of my lane and go, oh, well, if you're living up in the Northwest or wherever and you're not getting this, and oh, you don't eat bananas. I don't know. I'm not saying you can't do it. Of course you can do it. There's nobody's doing this exactly the same way, but I do things my way. But you could, if halfway intelligent, you should be able to watch something and kind of extrapolate. How would I substitute, or how would I do this if I couldn't do this here or there? So, excuse me. Okay, and also too, I'm going to preface by saying most people that reach out to me are at least already plant-based, or if they're not completely plant-based yet, they're very close, like they're eating mostly plants. So I'm going to kind of fast forward to assuming where do you start if you're already plant-based, but I'll just give a couple of quick words. If you're not plant-based, looking back, I think with a few resources, you could go vegan. The vegan part, you might not be doing it the best way or whatever, but you could go vegan overnight. I'm thoroughly convinced with the right things I could go back and do that. Get yourself a few books and educate yourself on the nutrition of this lifestyle from some reputable people. I always recommend How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. And then I recommend Brenda Davis. She's a Canadian author and raw foodist. And somebody will always throw out, I don't know if she does 100% raw, but she's written 2 books. She wrote Becoming Vegan and Becoming Raw. 3 great books right there. Teach you the fundamentals and teach you how to do this lifestyle in a healthy way. It's less of this stuff about the woo-woo, how things vibrating and we're detoxifying and all these kind of, that kind of stuff. You want to get a good grip on the nutrition, because if you're not getting the nutrition, you're going to just flounder around a while. You're not going to make it. You're going to eventually move on to the next thing. Once you're plant-based, I've talked about this a lot before too. I'm a big fan of constantly moving forward. I hate it when I see these people, you try to bite off too much. I'm going raw vegan overnight because I saw so-and-so do it. And then they take off more than they're ready for. They're not ready for it, so it doesn't work out. They fail. They end up eating a bunch of stuff they don't want to eat. It sends them into a spiral. And then they're like, psychologically down. They're like, well, I can't do this. And then there's some people that don't give up, but they're just always back and forth. 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps backwards, back and forth. Always be going forward. You don't have to, there's no rush for this. Go at a pace that's easy for you, that's comfortable for you, but always be going forward. If you're always going forward, you're feeling good about it too. And you're not, the psychological plays so much of a role into this. Small victories, just like, if you're constantly going, oh, I did a little bit better this week than I did last week. It makes you feel good about yourself. So, I don't know. I would say when you're starting this lifestyle, you've got to get that nutrition down. Okay, I've already said that. That's number one. Understand the nutrition and understand how you're going to get the nutrition in your particular situation. I used to watch videos when I was down in the tropics, and I'm like, dude, you're up in a city in the Northeast or even the Northwest during the wintertime. I mean, what the hell are you talking about over there? You can't eat like somebody's eating in the tropics. So you have to adapt. So you have to figure out how you're going to adapt for your, your circumstances, your area, whatever. I want to, like I said, I talked about in a video last week, the basics. I do a lot of fruit. The fruit is the bulk of my calories. I'm big on the greens. The greens are a base of your nutrition. Listen to what other people have to say about them. There's people that, and there's people, I don't necessarily follow everything they say, but a lot of people of different modalities about doing a plant-based diet talk about the importance of the greens. So I get, the fruit is the base, the greens. Now, you've got to like the food that you're going to eat. My food, if you follow me on Instagram or see some of the things I share here, it may kind of look boring because I'm kind of repetitive. I have this kind of gnarly green smoothie every day, but I enjoy all my food. You may not enjoy what I'm eating. I would not be surprised if you didn't enjoy what I'm eating. So you need to find stuff that really satisfies you. I really want to let that settle in for you. You've got to really like this food. You can't tolerate it. It can't be like a diet. That's why diets never work. Diets were always meant you do this for a certain period of time and you're just kind of holding on. This is a lifestyle. Embrace it. So you're going to have to, from the beginning, learn to satisfy yourself. Get that diet mentality out of your head, where it was always about denying yourself something like, okay, well, I shouldn't eat this, whatever. Find out what you can eat. Find out what you can eat in abundance. Find out what you can eat in unlimited amounts. Another thing I repeat over and over is I'm never hungry. If I'm hungry, I eat because I eat good stuff. And I'm always feeling good. And that's the proof right there. I don't know, people still argue with me sometimes 8 years in. I don't know. I'm not saying maybe the wheels come off at some point and all of a sudden I feel like, oh my God, I've done all this stuff wrong. But 8 years of feeling good, that's just hard to deny. So step by step, you start, you figure out what you can get in your area. You set up your kitchen. You set up your environment. Your environment is huge because we are lazy human beings. We're more likely to. Now, you can get in your car and go get something, but we're more likely to, if you're hungry or if it's time for dinner and you're going to prepare some food and there's something good, there's good stuff in your kitchen and the bad stuff's not in there, yeah, you can get in the car and go somewhere, but you're more times than not, you're going to eat what's good and that's in the kitchen. So change your environment. Clean up your environment, get rid of the bad stuff, stock up on good stuff, even keep stuff prepped. Even beyond having good stuff in the house, keep stuff prepped in the beginning all the time where you don't have to think about it a lot. You get hungry, it's like just the gorilla gets hungry, he goes and eats. You want to make it that simple for yourself. Learn some recipes. Uber important. Goes back to enjoying your food. Now the nice cream and the smoothies and the stuff like that'll be pretty easy. You don't really need recipes, but like for your dinners, your salad dressings, yeah, you're going to want to mix it up from time to time, and you're going to have things that are tasty. That's why I always recommend that everybody get at least one recipe book. And, I don't know. I mean, if you can, people talk about money. I understand. Listen, just always understand this, but people always want to throw up, well, what if you don't have the money to do this and that? Well, you do what you can do within your means. I would think that most people that are going to change a whole lifestyle for their health, for whatever, can at least afford one recipe book, at least one recipe book. They're out there, $15, $20, whatever. But the point being is, it's just learn you need enough recipes, you need enough good food that you're going to be satisfied. Start off, you don't need to be raw overnight. Just start with raw till noon. Just have a raw breakfast. If you've never even been raw before, if you're just dabbling, just simply have a raw breakfast. and just extend from there. You know, you have a raw breakfast when that's just like, when you don't think about anything else in the morning for breakfast, then you move on. Then you have something raw for lunch. You either have a salad for lunch, you have a smoothie for lunch, you have some more fruit for lunch, you have ice cream for lunch. There's just, you know, there's more options than I could even think of. So you have it for lunch. And then you just kind of keep moving with that. When you're ready, maybe some days you have raw all day. And then more and more days you have raw all day. But it's just a step by step. Take it off in smaller bites. Like I say, you've got to be an individual with this. It's not about trying to do it. If somebody, you know, you'll say the worst example out there is the person that always pipes up and says, well, I did it. I just decided one day I was going raw. I'm not doubting your story, but in some ways, when you pipe up like that to try to show, it's basically going back to, you remember when you were in school, that annoying kid that was always, oh, I know this, I know that, and everybody wanted to pound the hell out of them after class. That's like that person, and you're not doing people any good. Yes, some people do that. Some people just have this flash of light and they go raw overnight, but that doesn't happen very often. Those stories in 8 years, those are few and far between. And some of the ones that fought tooth and nail and said, I went raw overnight, they're not even around anymore. So take it step by step. Take it at your pace, but always be moving forward. And I'll finish with that. Some people, you know, on the one hand, some people go too fast, but on the other hand, there's a lot of people that just stay in transition. You know, it's kind of like, well, I'm transitioning. Well, weren't you transitioning 2 years ago? I think I remember you. So they're always transitioning. So you kind of want transition to be an active phase. You want to be moving forward in that transition. You don't want to be pushing yourself. You don't want to jump further than you're ready for, but you want to be moving forward in that transition. You don't want to just get stuck in transition and be like, well, I'm in transition. Or maybe you're not going to be 100% raw. Maybe you don't want to be 100% raw, and that's okay, but you don't need to tell yourself you're in transition. So always be moving forward. Always be moving forward. Learn the nutrition of this lifestyle. Clean up your environment. Prepare your environment. Always have good choices in your environment. Learn some recipes. And then just start doing raw and do a little bit more raw each day. Just keep moving forward, and it's basically as simple as that. We make things harder. We make things harder than they need to be. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you later this week. Peace.